What's up, agents? Jetforth here, and here is the Shock Trap Oxidizer build as promised. A super quick rundown on this build is that this is a community build. Everybody had told me in the comments to use Shock Trap, Oxidizer, Status Effect, and so on, so I just took everybody's suggestions and put them into one build, and this is what I ended up with. I do feel like I hit the sweet spot with this build between using duration, Status Effect, and skill damage, so that way you're doing optimal damage, you get your Shock Trap back fast enough, you get your Oxidizer fast enough, and everything is doing as much damage as it possibly can. Now, I'm not going to babble forever about this and show tons of gameplay because I did already post a full gameplay video one video ago or the day before yesterday, depending on when you actually watch this. So we'll leave all of this bibble babble aside and we'll just get into the build, and I will basically explain what's going on with it during the build because we're just going to try and whip through this, and I'm shutting up. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that other junk, and that's the outro. Let's just get into the build, shall we? Alrighty, for our specialization, we will be using the Survivalist, mainly for the Incendiary Grenade. Survivalist Tactical Link. Group members get 10% bonus damage to targets with status effect, because there will be a lot of that going on. And then Crunch Time. While in cover, gain 10% skill haste. And whatever all the other fun accoutrements that this specialization comes with. On to weapons. For my primary, I am still using my Tactical M249 Para. I still don't know how to say that because, you know, I'm dumb. Total damage, 78.9, 550 RPM, 135 in the mag. Core attributes, LMG damage, damage to targets out of cover, and damage to armor. As for Talientes, Spike, headshots grant 20% skill damage for 8 seconds. I'm a big fan of Spike because you can continually refresh it over and over again as you're getting headshots, and I also love this on an LMG because, well, you know, my amazing aim and I can just spray and pray. I know a lot of people have been like, use Surge, use the Surge, and just whatever. You know, aim. I'm amazing. What can I say? As for our secondary weapon, I am using the Send-Off. Real quick, the only way that you can get this is by crafting, and you would have to have finished the level 4 technician field research to be able to craft this, so make sure you get that done. I would imagine most people have it done, but I know a lot of the new players don't. But yes, you do have to craft this. Anyways, for this most wonderful shotgun, when you leave this world, all you hear is a white noise. Total damage, 740.6k damage, 70 RPM, 12 mag size. Occasionally, you will use this. Shotgun damage, damage to armor, and headshot damage, which meh. As for the Talientes, perfect distance, plus 100% optimal range, and then perfectly rooted. While equipped and in cover, all skill damage and healing is increased by 30% for 15 seconds. Buff is lost when exiting cover, can occur once per 60 seconds. Between this and Spike, when this actually decides to proc every 60 seconds, your Oxidizer throws down some serious damage. Let me tell you. And just as a side note, if you do throw down your Oxidizer and are overcharged or have any of these going while you're overcharged, do not touch it because yeah, this will happen. As for my sidearm, I'm still using my backup boomstick and or the Drunk Idiot. Total damage, 873.7k damage, 200 RPM, blah blah blah, 2 mag size. Core attributes, shotgun damage, damage to armor, regular attributes, critical hit damage. Talent's Perpetuation, headshots grant plus 50% status effect damage and duration to the next status effect you apply, which I guess I'm kind of glad that I am not a genius and for some reason couldn't figure out to change this Talientes. You have to go to shotguns instead of, you know, sidearms. But hey, don't judge, okay? Don't judge. However, with this talent, you can actually get pretty close to an enemy when they are shocked. Don't get too close, though, because it does seem at times that your shock trap, if you are too close to an NPC, it will pass you. And you are going to be shocked for 11.1 seconds. Ugh, terrible. Alrighty, on to armor, which we're going to do this a little bit backwards in this build video, and we're going to start with the backpack, which is the Acosta's Go Bag, which is kind of broken, but in a good way. And I'll also explain why I picked the chest piece Talientes that I did and whatever stuff. You never know what you're going to need, so it's best to be prepared. Eva Acosta, Urban Spelunker. Core attributes, skill tier, obviously. Attributes, skill haste, skill damage, and as for my mod, it is some more skill haste. I can't wait till we actually get to re-roll all this stuff. I'm kind of happy for that because all my go bags rolled like poo-poo. Alright, I'm just babbling. As for our main talent, one in hand. Damage an enemy with a grenade grants +1 skill tier for 15 seconds. Grants overcharge if already at skill tier 6, which we are. And this is actually what is broken on this build. It is not broken as in it's not working. However, how it is working is strange. You don't actually have to damage an NPC with this. The second you throw a grenade or it leaves your hand, it is activating one in hand. So yeah, you don't have to damage an enemy. Now we do have TU9 coming, so this could possibly be fixed. I don't know, and maybe the wording will change too because there is also a 45-second cooldown on this. I don't mind the cooldown so much. I would kind of rather see it around 35 seconds or so rather than 45 seconds, but you know, take it or leave it. Still a powerful build without it, but as long as the people you are playing with allow you to run in there, throw a grenade, get your overcharge going, then you know, it's a quite amazing Italientes. Now the other thing that's going on with it as well, to where it actually confused me, is that the little battery symbol isn't what pops up underneath your tree when it's activated. It's actually the little dude holding the world for 2 in the bag that is showing up and goes on cooldown. But it is working, just for some reason those 2 symbols are, you know, flipped because, well, division. And then we have 2 in the bag, which works fine. +1 armor kit capacity, +3 grenade capacity, +25% ammo capacity, +10% repair skill, and +10% status effect. So that's pretty straightforward. You get 10 grenades, which is fantastic because, I don't know, we're running some status effect and you can just chuck those over and over again along with your Oxidizer, and you can pretty much wipe out the first part of an encounter near immediately because of all of this running together. Now we're going to go ahead and skip ahead to the chest piece, which we will explain why I'm using Mad Bomber. Grenade radius is increased by 50%. Grenades that kill an enemy are refunded, which if you do get them with fire from your incendiary, that still counts and will refresh it. Grenades can now be cooked by holding the fire button, makes them explode earlier, and gain +15% armor while aiming granadas. Now I did pick Mad Bomber with the incendiary grenade because the radius of that thing is obnoxious, and honestly I never really used the go bag until I used this build and didn't know it was broken like that. So think of this way as it being future proofed if they do decide to finally fix it. If not, hey, Mad Bomber is still really awesome on this build, and yeah, that fire radius is quite rather ridiculous. But I think they pair very well together, and I'm still just trying to justify, because I know somebody's going to be like, Mad Bombers is for losers, you should be using... I mean that in the nicest way possible. Anyways, for this I am using Murakami Industries for the +20% skill duration, +1 skill tier, attributes headshot damage. I mean... yeah, I'd rather see more skill haste here, or status effect, yeah. But it is what it is, and this game does not want to drop me a good chess piece whatsoever. Then I have skill damage, and as for my mod slot, it is some more skill haste. Now with this piece, I am using 2 pieces of Wyvern as well. You can use a 3rd piece of Wyvern if you have a decent chess piece, or you know, you can swap in and out. You don't necessarily have to use all these pieces exactly where I have them, because, well, building is kind of easy now. Alright, and then we can fly through the rest of this. As for my mask is Wyvernware, which we are actually using 2 pieces for the +10% skill damage and +10% status effect. But like I said, you can swap out your chest piece for another piece of Wyvern or somewhere on your build to get that +20% skill duration. Core attributes, +1 skill tier, regular attributes, skill damage, and status effect. And also the mod slot on here is some more skill haste. As for my holster, I'm using a piece of Hanayu, which we are actually using 2 pieces for the +10% skill haste and +10% skill damage. Core attributes, skill tier, attributes, skill damage, and skill haste. Gloves, this is our 2nd piece of Hanayu, obviously skill tier, and then skill damage and skill haste. And finally, the knee pads, which this is our 2nd piece of Wyvern for the status effect. Core attributes, skill tier, attributes, skill damage, and status effect. And that's pretty much it for all the weapons and armor on this build. Like I said, you don't really have to use a Murakami chest piece to get that 20% skill duration. You can swap this out for a piece of Wyvernware. And also when it comes to the other 2 pieces of Wyvernware and Hanayu, you can swap in and out any of these pieces. I would still highly recommend using 2 pieces of Hana, 2 pieces of Wyvern, or 3 pieces of Wyvern if that's not confusing. They just don't all have to be where they are. So if you have a better pair of wyvern gloves than you do wyvern knee pads, swap them out for Hannah, you know, whatever. You get it, I'm sure. As for the skills themselves, we are using the shock trap. So I got my cooldown to 27.5. Like I said, I wish I could get more skill haste on the chest piece, but it is what it is. You get 16 traps. When you are overcharged, you have 18 traps, so that's pretty nice. Shock radius 3.3 meters, shock duration 11.1 seconds, and it will sit on the ground for 37.8 seconds, which is a long time, but in the midst of battle, sometimes it feels like it's shorter than that, but it does last that long. As for the mods, I have a plus 4.9 duration and plus 6.9% shock radius. And once it gets overcharged, you're at plus 70% shock radius and plus 200% shock duration. So they will sit there for a very long time after they are shocked. As for the Chem Launcher, we have plus 7 ammo, cooldown is 13.7 seconds. Like I said, you know what, skill haste. Cloud radius 3.92 meters, cloud duration 13.2 seconds, and cloud damage is 161,190. Now the little damage ticks on that, they should say per second there, because pretty much that 161.190 hits every second for the most part on the enemies. When overcharged, you get plus 5, so it stays the same. Nothing gets added to it, which is strange. It should say like plus 6 or plus 7, giving you an extra 2 when you overcharge, but you get nothing when it's overcharged. But like I said before, when you are overcharged, be careful of that radius. Then you get the 150% duration and plus 80% damage on it. Yeah, be careful of the radius, because it is hard to see when that radius goes up like that. Like, really hard to see, and it will kill you if you touch it rather quickly. My mods on here are plus 1 ammo and a plus 4% damage. The mods could be better, but hey, what are you gonna do? RNG. And that's pretty much it for the build, you guys. Overall, I'm quite rather happy with this. It's a lot of fun to use. Definitely a little bit different from the playstyle I'm used to, because I'm sure most of you guys know that I am a Seeker Mine addict. I just probably need to be put into a Seeker Mine anonymous group to stop using them. I can't help it. I love them. I'm addicted. But other than all of that shenanigans, I do really like this build. I will probably use it from time to time. It's just one of those things where I gotta be a little bit more careful, because you do kind of have to run in to throw your shock trap. Because you do have to run in, because it doesn't throw that far. Definitely elevated areas are great, and there also is a sweet spot to where you throw your shock trap. If you look at your character as you're throwing it, if you aim it up a little bit, it'll take you out of the radius. That's where it's going to go the farthest, and it'll spread out better, and whatever, you'll get used to it, I am sure. But that is it for me, you guys. Let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comment section down below. If there's any changes you would make to it, or any suggestions, do leave a comment. Let other people know. For me, I really just want a better chess piece, and that's it. And I'm just shutting up. Hit the old like button for me if you could. That would be super amazing. Subscribe and all that other junk, and I will catch you all on the flip side. Peace!